Hello and welcome to Wisdom Bites. Hope you're well. Thank you once again for joining us. Very much appreciated. I thought I would do a bonus video for you because many people have come late to the Bitcoin party and they feel they have missed out on Bitcoin and the massive rally that we've had since October 2020. If you think that you are one of them who feels you have missed out on Bitcoin, or you are looking to diversify a little bit away from the main assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum, etc., or even you're looking for a potentially faster growth than Bitcoin for the next 6 to 9 months, then this video is just for you. I'm going to show you today why the Bitcoin party is just beginning, but it may be your last chance to get in. So in this video, I'm going to focus entirely on the Bitcoin miners. Now you may have come across them. These are the people who are mining the Bitcoin. Of course, there are hundreds of Bitcoin miners out there, but there are two which are readily available to invest in for most people around the world. Secondly, at the end of the video, I'm going to provide a little wisdom bite on why the rich get richer and the poor stay poor, and how you can actually use this information that I'm going to give you today to gate crash the rich man's world. Being rich or poor is actually in your hands, and I'm going to show you how. So if that sounds interesting, then without further ado, let's get cracking. And before we do, the usual polite reminder, nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice, and please be sensible and do your wider research before making any investment decisions. Remember, it's your money and therefore it's your responsibility how you use it. So with that out of the way, I'm going to introduce you to two companies called Marathon Digital Holdings and Riot Blockchain. I covered these two companies in this video here 2 months ago on the 6th of December, and I'll leave a link to this video in the top right hand corner for you at the end of this video. So what is Marathon Digital Holdings? Marathon Digital Holdings is a digital asset technology company that mines cryptocurrencies with a focus on the blockchain ecosystem and the generation of digital assets. They are basically a company that has a fleet of mining equipment to produce Bitcoin here. So with Marathon Digital Holdings, what you're buying is a company that actually mines the Bitcoin. You're not buying the Bitcoin itself, so please be aware of that. So let's start off firstly with Marathon Digital Holdings. And on the 6th of December in that video, this is exactly what I said to you at the time. And we're just breaking this corresponding line of the 10,500 with Bitcoin. We're just breaking that now and using that as support. If we just zoom in on here, you can see that we went above it, quickly got moved back down, but the bullish pressure pushed it back up there, and now we're coming back down to retest it here. And then it looks to me as though we're going to be off to the races very, very shortly. Towards the all-time high was $38.59 around here, $38.50. We're currently at $5.40, and it looks to me as though this chart is looking extremely bullish, and we're on our way towards the $40 mark here. So in that video, Marathon Digital Holdings was around this price here, and basically I drew this chart and I said that this is the cup and handle that it was forming at the time, and it was just coming up to the breakage of its neckline. This is the neckline here, this pink line. And this is where I started to dollar cost average into Marathon Digital Holdings when the price was around the $5.5, $6.5. Because when you have this pattern is a very strong indicator that once we break this neckline, we're going to do this to the price. And as you can see, so far, we have gone up by around about 4 or 5 times since 2 months ago. However, if we zoom out and look at the bigger picture, you'll see something very interesting forming. We now have a second cup and handle forming. So what do you think is going to happen to Marathon Holdings once we break this neckline here? You can see that green candle protruding where we've just been rejected in this current correction. If I zoom into this here, you'll see exactly what I mean. There we are. So this is the neckline we've just broken out. And this is the candle that it's forming. What do you think is going to happen in the next few weeks after this? If I zoom out and show you, this point here is the last top of the bull market that Bitcoin was in, and Marathon Digital Holdings actually topped out, as you can see at the bottom there, 27th of November 2017. So about a month before Bitcoin topped out, Marathon Digital topped out around the November time, a month before. And guess what? We are now coming to the neckline of that. We are now in the process of breaking its all-time high. So what happened when Bitcoin broke its all-time high? From 20,000, it rushed very, very quickly to the 58,000 mark. So if that is a premise for what's going to happen with Marathon, what do you think it will happen here? So basically, we're at the stage with Marathon Digital Holdings, as well as with Riot, as I'm going to show you in a few minutes, we've come into the same point as where Bitcoin was a couple of months ago when we broke the 20,000 all-time high with Bitcoin. This is the same point that we're at now here. Once we break this neckline here, this all-time high, there is a saying in the stocks and investment world that show me a high and I'll show you a buy. So what do you think is going to happen here? So what you have is an incredible opportunity to get in where Bitcoin was at the 20,000 level at these points here. Please remember, this is not financial advice. Please do your wider research. Nobody has a crystal ball. What I'm saying doesn't have to happen. I'm just giving you my opinion based on what I see in the charts. It's your responsibility to do your wider research and then come to your own conclusions regarding this. If I have a look at the other company, Riot blockchain, you can see something very similar unfolding there as well. This is what I said about Riot blockchain in the same video on the 6th of December. Is the Riot blockchain, another Canadian miner, and again it topped out in December 2017 at around about the $46 mark. Currently it's at $10, so 4 times less, and again it broke its trend line here, the equivalent of the 10,500, around about October, so 2 months ago, and since then it's been going parabolic. So in that video when I did that, the price of Riot blockchain was around the $10 mark here. And since then, this is what it's done in 2 months. And just like Marathon Digital Holdings, it's now forming a cup and handle. This is the correction we've just had there. So once we break this neckline, and we're just about to break in the next few days, maybe next few weeks, but much shorter, I think in the next few days we're going to be breaking this. Let me do a comparison for you so that you can understand the magnitude of the rise of both these two assets, Riot blockchain and Marathon Digital Holdings. Let's go to Bitcoin first. This is where the rally for Bitcoin started. The week beginning October the 5th. That was the start of the rally that we've just had here. And if we make a measure of from the bottom of this candle to the current price here, that's the current price at 48,100. You can see that Bitcoin in that period of time since October has gone up by 360%. If we do a similar comparison to the Bitcoin miners, i.e. Marathon Digital Holdings and Riot blockchain, you will see exactly what I mean by the parabolic rise that we've already had. This candle is the corresponding candle on the 5th of October for Marathon Digital Holdings. And if we take a measure of that from the bottom of the candle there to the current price, which closed on Friday, yesterday, at $30, Marathon Digital Holdings in the same period that Bitcoin had gone up by 360% has actually gone up by 1,536%. That's 15 times the October price. If we have a look at Riot blockchain in this corresponding period here, so from the bottom of that candle there to the current price of around $40, that's gone up by 14 times, 1,484%. So the conclusion I can make from this is that while Bitcoin has actually gone up by 3.5 times from this point to the current prices, Marathon and Riot have gone up by 15 and 14 times respectively. So what does that tell me about what's going to happen in the future? Well, considering that if we zoom out, so this is the all-time high for Riot blockchain in December 2017, and we're just coming up to that level now. And so this is the equivalent of the Bitcoin 20,000 all-time high that we passed a couple of months ago. So what I'm trying to say is that you haven't missed the party as far as I can see in the charts. Please remember, this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm interpreting in the charts. Riot Holdings and Marathon Digital Holdings are coming up to their all-time highs, and they are 2 months behind Bitcoin from what I can see here. And already we have gone up with these two assets 15 and 14 times respectively to get to that point. So what do you think would happen in the next 6 to 9 months if those figures were repeated? If you've been watching my videos for the last 1.5 years, you'll know that all this time I've had the target of $300,000 for Bitcoin, which means that at the current prices of around about the 50,000 mark, Bitcoin is expected to rise by 6 times to get to this 300,000 target. So if we use that as a measure, that in the next 6 to 9 months, when Bitcoin goes up by 6 times to $300,000, if we plot for Marathon Digital Holdings and Riot blockchain to rise in the same way that it's risen from October 2020, then we can see that, let me do the maths for you, Marathon grew by 15 times when Bitcoin grew by 3.5 times from the period between October 2020 to the current price. So if we divide 15 by 3.5 times, that will give us a price of 4.2. So what that really means is that Marathon grew by 4.2 times the pace of Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin grew by 3.5 times, Marathon grew by 15 times. So Marathon grew by 4.2 times greater than Bitcoin in that period of time. And since Bitcoin is going to grow by 6 times from where we are now, if we multiply the 4.2 times that Marathon grew by, and that repeats in the next 6 to 9 months, that means that Marathon is going to grow by around about 25 times. So based on this calculation here, which is based on the fact that whatever happened between October 2020 and the current price, if that was to repeat in the next 6 to 9 months, then applying this formula would mean that with Marathon at the current price of $30, and if that was to grow by 25 times from where it is now, would give us a target price of $750 from where we are now. So that is where the target is. And I've put the target to round it off to $800. So that looks like a nice ballpark figure of where our target is going to be for Marathon. And if we do a similar thing for Riot Holdings, you'll see that it also has a very good target price. If you want to support the channel, then please click on any of my videos, and then below the videos you'll find a box called Show More, which gives you a description box, and in that description box is the affiliate link with Etoro that I have. So I partner up with Etoro because that's the main exchange I use for all my investments. These are the reasons why I tend to use Etoro. It's a very simple exchange to use in terms of depositing money and withdrawing the money, as well as trading if that's what you want to do, as well as for long-term investing, which is what I tend to do. So if you want to support the channel, please click on the partnership link, and then what you'll do is you'll get this box here, and then you can basically put your username, email and password and just fill in the form there. If you like any of my videos and you find value in them, then please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. So Riot grew by 14 times in the same period as Bitcoin grew by 3.5 times from October 2020 to current price, which equals 4 times faster than Bitcoin. And if Riot now grows between where we are now to the end of the current bull market by the same pace as Bitcoin, i.e. 6 times, which means that Riot is going to grow by 24 times its current price. So at the current price of Riot at $40, multiply that by 24 times our expected growth, will give us a target price of $960 for Riot. And this is what we've got here if we zoom out. So these are the expected prices for Riot and Marathon Holdings. So if you think that you've missed out on the Bitcoin rally that we had from October till now, i.e. if you feel you've missed out on this, well, it may well be that you've got this to come back. It looks to me as though this is about to be repeated up here. If I do a bars pattern chart, so let's say this repeats itself up there, we put it there. Look at where the actual target is, exactly where we've said, around the $800 mark. Similarly for Riot, if we take the bars pattern from here and we plant that to here, we get to the $960 mark target. Okay, only time will tell what will happen. Please remember, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just giving you my opinion from what I see in the charts. I'll let you decide. I'm going to show you the RSI now to show you quite clearly that we have quite a long way to go for Bitcoin as well as for Marathon and Riot Holdings. So we made a peak over here, and since then we've had this correction, as we know, and we're now waiting for another bounce up here before the market ends anywhere around here in the next 6 to 9 months for Bitcoin. Similarly, this is the marathon chart. As you can see, we made a peak over here. We've now had a correction and we're now at the 63 level. So there's plenty of room to grow in the next 6 to 9 months here, wherever we top off. So very similar. And this is why I say that whatever Bitcoin's going to do, it looks to me as though Marathon and Riot will do exactly the same in the same manner it did here. It will more than likely do the same there. It's not a guarantee. The market's not about guarantees. It's about probabilities. So the probability is it's going to grow in a similar vein to what it grew over here. And similarly for Riot, we're at the 60 level here as well for Riot. And it looks like it wants to go this way as well and top out somewhere around here in the next 6 to 9 months. So only time will tell. If you found value in all this information, then hit the like button and turn on the notification bell, and also subscribe if you're new. And finally on the technical side, I just want to show you this. If you look at the stochastic RSI, you can see quite clearly that this move here from around October to where we topped off here, we've come down from there now to these levels. So we're now getting geared up for the next move up in the next 6 to 9 months. And if you now look at Marathon, we're in a similar position here. So we've moved up in the parabolic rise up to there. The stochastic RSI has fallen down to these 36 levels and is now just gearing up for the next ride up. And similarly for Riot, we're here going towards there. So those two indicators are telling me that we're just getting ready to move for the next leg up, for the final phase of this parabolic move that started. So the question now is, where can you buy the Marathon digital holdings and the Riot blockchain? Because they're not available on Coinbase or Binance or any of the main exchanges out there, because these two assets are listed on the Nasdaq, which means that they're available on Etoro. If you want these two to be available to you, then all you have to do is to go on to any of my videos. Let's take the last one. And if you scroll down to the description box, you'll have the Etoro link. And if you click on the Etoro link there, you'll get to this page here. And all you have to do is to create an account with them. Then those two will be available to you. Now, please remember, this is not financial advice. It's your decision whether you want to buy Marathon or Riot. But this is the way to do it if you do. Please do your due diligence and wider research before making any decisions. So when you make your millions of dollars with Bitcoin or with any other assets on the cryptocurrency space, you're going to be faced with a very important question. What do I buy with my money? Or how do I spend my money? You have really two choices. You can buy either assets or liabilities, and it's your choice. So what is the definition of assets and liabilities? Very simply, if I use the definition by Robert Kiyosaki, who simplified the definitions, according to Robert, an asset is something that puts money in your pocket, and liabilities are things that take money out of your pocket. Let me give you a list of some of the assets and liabilities. So assets are things that bring money into your pocket, such as properties that you rent out, business that you run in the form of profits, royalties, stocks and shares, paintings, farmland, etc. So there are many things that are assets that will actually bring money into your pocket. But on the liability side, these are the things that take the money out of your pocket. And they are, again, properties that you've got a mortgage on. So if it's a property that you live in and you've got a mortgage on it, then you've got money going out of your pocket. And most people mistake this for an asset. It is not an asset until it's all paid for. Until then, it's a liability because it's taking money out of your pocket. Cars. So if you're thinking of buying a Lamborghini, that's going to be something that's going to take money out of your pocket in terms of maintenance and fuel. Holidays, bank loans, etc., etc. So you get the meaning. So assets are these types of things that put money into your pocket, and liabilities are these things that take money out of your pocket. So when you make your fortune with Bitcoin, you have a decision to make. Do you go for the assets or do you go for the liabilities? The people who will lose most of their money after they've made the fortune with Bitcoin will go for these liabilities, these types of things. Those who want to maintain their money and grow it further will go for the assets. And guess what? It's your choice. So what I'm saying is that it's your choice whether you want to be rich or you want to remain poor. Please remember, we are all where we are today because of the decisions and the choices that we have made in our lives. If you are not where you want to be, then you have to start making different decisions and choices. And as Jim Rohn said, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you'll keep getting what you've been getting. To get a different outcome, you have to make a different decision and choice, i.e., you have to change. For your outcomes to change, you have to change yourself. Okay, so we'll wrap it up there. Thank you once again for watching. I hope you found value in this video. And if you did, then please hit the like button and turn on the notification bell and subscribe if you're new. If you want to leave any comments, questions and suggestions, then please leave them in the comments below. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.